BooTube! I am trying to finish Supergirl before tonight because I got like 3 hours and 15 minutes before the episode 15 of Supergirl shows up, which is the crossover episode with Flash. So let's get this started. This is episode 17, titled Manhunter. And we all know who's the Martian Manhunter in the show. Hey! Anyway, I'm sorry. Like I explained in the previous video, which is episode 16 of Supergirl, I'm trying to be quiet because I think my mom is sick because she stayed home from work today, and last I saw her she was wrapped like a cocoon with crackers on her bedside table, so I think she's sick and I think she's still sleeping, so shh. Anyway, yeah, let's start this off. The people of National City, they're very skeptical of Supergirl after what happened with her red kryptonite rageaholic moment in the last episode. You know, she had a red kryptonite fueled rampage basically, and it's to the point where even Kat is becoming a little more concerned because National City is taking a very long time to forgive Supergirl. But anyway, still coming to terms with what happened, Kara calls in sick at work, and so Wynn pretty much fills in for her, but then ends up getting a message from Shaban. If you remember correctly, in the last episode, Shaban got fired for trying to leak a story of red kryptonite Kara letting a prisoner go and all that stuff, and she tried to sell that story to Daily Prophet. And Kara, you know, still being controlled by the red kryptonite, prints that email, shows it to Kat, and Kat fires Shaban. So anyway, Wynn is filling in for Kara because she called in sick, and he gets a message from Shaban after like forever, from like giving messages to her. So to meet him. So anyway, he leaves the duties to James, which is pretty funny. Like James answering the phone for Kat is like the funniest crap you'll ever see. You have to watch the episode just so you'll understand why I was laughing like crazy when I saw it. But anyway, at the place where they're meeting, Shaban tells Wynn that basically every media outlet out there, she's been blacklisted from all of them, most likely by Kat, right? And also the fact that she's implying that she blames Kara, because remember when Shaban got fired, Kara said something snarky to her just before Shaban left. I don't remember exactly what she said, but the way Kara said it, you know, the words she said and the way she said it kind of implied, that, you know, Kara was the one that got her ass fired, so naturally Shaban blames Kara for that. I don't blame Shaban for that, especially after what Kara said. But anyway, Wynn, you know, he's trying to be confident, tries to, like, comfort Shaban, you know, saying, you know, you'll land back on your feet, everything will be okay, don't worry about the whole blacklisting thing. And I really like the fact that, you know, Wynn does have a potential love interest when it comes to Shaban. You know, they have made out several times. And, you know, they're confiding in each other and all that stuff, but I don't know, Shaban seems, comparing Shaban and Wynn is like this innocent, I want to say puppy, but he has this cute little innocence to him, kind of like a puppy. And you get this Shaban lady who looks like the Terrorizer cat, and all that stuff. So, I don't know if this whole opposites attract thing will work. But anyway, back at the DEO, Jean continues to refuse getting help from Alex. Because Alex apparently has been occasionally visiting Jean and like getting help from her and all that stuff, and he refuses to take any of that help at all. And they end up getting interrupted by the arrival and return of Lucy Lane with, and this is cool, hang on, this is really cool, not only, well, Lucy coming back is not really cool, but the fact that Lucy Lane returned with someone very well known, because when I saw the name I was like, no way, but she arrives with Colonel Jim Harper. So if you guys don't know who Colonel Jim Harper is, the last name Harper should be a dead giveaway already, but if not, James Jacob Jim Harper, normal human from Earth. He's affiliated with Science Police, Project, well, I'm not going to mention that right now because that's later on in the episode, but 2, 3, 4, 5. He's involved with 5 groups. I'm not going to mention one of them due to the fact that it'll be mentioned later on in the episode, but he's involved with the Science Police, All-Star Squad, Newsboy Legion, and the Justice League. He was it. And if you guys don't know, hang on, wait, let me see if I can find, actually, give me a sec, okay? Sorry guys, my computer's acting really weird, but anyway, if you guys don't know, Jim Harper, just by the last name already should give you a big hint on who the hell he is. Jim Harper is actually the great uncle of Roy Harper, and if you remember, Roy Harper is Green Arrow's sidekick who, in the beginning of his hero days, started off as Speedy! Roy! Yay! So, I wonder if, you know, like they said that Supergirl is in a different universe from the Arrowverse, right? You know, Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. But I wonder if there is a doppelganger in the Arrowverse, particularly, you know, in the Arrow show, of an actual Jim Harper there, because in the comics, Jim Harper is the great uncle of Roy Harper, aka, you know, Speedy, Red Arrow, Arsenal, all that good stuff. But anyway, and if you guys also remember, Jim Harper, hang on for a sec, Jim Harper went by his own superhero persona. If you guys remember, his superhero persona was Guardian. I'm not going to get too much into that because you guys should know who Guardian is. If you do not know who he is, then shame on you. And hang on, my computer's acting very strange. Anyway, sorry, my computer's just going wonky today. But anyway, he did go by the name of Guardian. If you guys don't know who Guardian is, shame on you. I should slap you all on the screen right now. Slap, slap, slap. Okay? Because Guardian. How do you not know Guardian? And first off, if you guys didn't even know Jim Harper, that's even a bigger slap than not knowing the name Guardian. I'm just saying. But anyway, Lucy Lane and Colonel Jim Harper have both been sent to find out who else was aware that J'onn J'onzz was infiltrating DEO. So basically, it's pretty much a witch hunt. They're seeking any expose, like any exposed to any potential traitors inside the DEO who actually knew J'onn was infiltrating the DEO himself. So basically, they take J'onn to an interrogation room to interrogate him, and they put like a dampening field in the interrogation room that pretty much prevents Hank from using any of his powers, particularly from transforming. And it also prevents Kara from listening in with her super hearing, which really sucks, by the way. But anyway, basically during the interrogation, J'onn tells the two about what happened to the real Hank Henshaw, because, you know, they're all curious. And we actually get to see a backstory of, you know, how J'onn J'onzz met the real Hank Henshaw, and how he also met Dr. Jeremiah Danvers, aka Alex and Kara's father. Alex's real father, Kara's adopted father. So it's really interesting because it takes 10 years prior, like it was 10 years ago, and Hank pretty much led a team of agents, which also included a very reluctant Dr. Jeremiah Danvers, on a manhunt for a mysterious alien in Peru. And we all know that that mysterious alien right now, as we all know, was J'onn J'onzz, right? And so when Jeremiah was attacked by a snake, you know, because they all got separated, right? Jeremiah got attacked by a snake, and J'onn actually saves him, and the two end up bonding with each other. And, you know, J'onn actually converses with him about how his planet was burned, leaving him the sole survivor. And Jeremiah actually bonds with him by showing, you know, J'onn a picture of both of his daughters and telling him, you know, my adopted daughter, Kara, is a refugee alien like you are. You know, they're bonding over their stories, and Jeremiah promised to help J'onn. You know, he promised to help J'onn out and convince the DEO that J'onn J'onzz is not a threat. Unfortunately, during that whole bonding thing, the real Hank Henshaw appears out of nowhere, and still very distrustful, obviously, and he pretty much sees J'onn and fires his gun at J'onn J'onzz, and Jeremiah attempts to stop Hank. And while they're doing that struggle, unfortunately, you know, Hank manages to stab Jeremiah right here in the gut, right? But, like, thankfully, Jeremiah, even though he got stabbed by Hank, manages to throw Hank off the hill. So basically, during that whole thing, J'onn J'onzz didn't do a thing, honestly. He got attacked by Hank Henshaw. Didn't attack back, actually. It was actually Jeremiah that attacked Hank. You know, those two, Hank and Jeremiah, fought each other. Hank stabbed Jeremiah, and Jeremiah threw Hank off the hill. But anyway, as Jeremiah was lying there on the ground dying, Jeremiah asked John to watch over his daughters, which John actually agreed, hence the promise that J'onn J'onzz made, that he told Alex and Kara about how he made a promise to Jeremiah to protect both girls. And in doing so, that's when J'onn actually assumed the identity of Hank Henshaw. And despite the entire story, you know, Jim Harper, you know, Jim Harper was actually close friends with the real Hank Henshaw, and because of that, he doesn't believe that, you know, Hank would do such a thing and all that stuff, doesn't believe J'onn's story, so he places J'onn in custody. And while Alex, she's the next one to get interrogated, and tells him how Hank recruited her to the DEO, and we actually see a little backstory of Alex, how she was like this rebel girl going to parties and getting drunk, and in the words of these kids today, getting turned. Anyway, and J'onn, in the guise of Hank, basically saved her life in a way, you know, saved her from going on that downward spiral and claiming that, you know, J'onn was the best man she ever known as Hank Henshaw. Obviously, she pretended she thought he was Hank Henshaw, not J'onn J'onzz, so she wouldn't give it away, right? And, despite, you know, the background story and all that stuff, and the fact that, you know, she did pass the polygraph test, even though we do know that, you know, Alex did know J'onn J'onzz was Hank. She passes the lie detector test, but Lucy does not believe her and still thinks Alex is lying, which is true. Alex was lying. She does know J'onn was Hank. And so, apparently, the two of them are ordered to be taken into custody and moved to another place, and that's where I'm getting to the fifth little group that Jim Harper is a part of in the comics, Project Cadmus. And I'm not going to get into it right now. Wait, I think I have time. Project Cadmus, the base of operations in Metropolis, and it's a genetic research facility, right? And it's run by a former newsboy legion, and notable creations that came out of Project Cadmus were the Golden Guardian, which is a clone of the original Guardian, who is Jim Harper, Orin and Duplex, which is a DNA alien telepath who resembles a tall gray alien with horns, and also its 21st century descendants running the Justice League 3000 project. I won't get into too much into it in this video because I'm running out of time, but I will get into more of it in the next video, so look forward to that. Part 2 of Manhunter, guys. Or I might leave it in a different video, a whole other video for Project Cadmus itself. So look forward to that, guys.